Then what more do you want from me? I want you to stop raising your voice at me. No, listen, everybody. Whoa.
This truly is the season of Dorit or Doritos, as I like to lovingly call her. Honestly, the ladies keep trying to, punch her down, but she keeps rising like a phoenix. We are going to get into all of that, the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Before we do, welcome back if you have already subscribed, and if you're new here, hello. I cover all things Real Housewives, Bravo, Bravo celebrities, and some good pop culture tea. Definitely subscribe for more. And with that said, let's get into it. All right, so we first start off with this cute little picnic with Bose and her man. And the editors, producers, I feel like this season they're doing a really good job where we are getting to know Bose, her family, the important people in her life, the people she works with. Um, Unlike, what was that one hit wonder lady, 8.5? I don't know, we barely got to know her family. I feel like they cut out scenes. But, anyways, with Bose, I think she's definitely going to be a staple. What I want to say about this clip, I thought it was so interesting where they're having a conversation as to where is their relationship at the moment. And they're having like hard conversations. And he's basically saying, like, yeah, I'm dating you for marriage. Like, I only date for marriage. And this is a concept people in a lot of cultures follow. And in some cultures, dating isn't really a thing. But if you are talking to someone, it's with the intention to get married. There was a little clip where they showed Bose's last relationship and how it was a hot mess. And I guess she was talking to Erica. Bose flat out asked the man, "Hey, are you cheating on me?" And he turns around and said, "Yeah, I'm screwing my ex." Crazy. But you know what? This man, he seems like a catch. We get a little cafe scene between Erica and Doritos. And of course, she had to order her little drink with all the lemons, limes, and the carcass out. I don't know if she said it in this scene. So that was cute when they both enter and they look fashionable. That's the thing about the Beverly Hills ladies. Like, the fashion is going to fashion, darling. So I love that. So they get into it. Dorit does a little recap with PK being sober, where she is. And I think Erica gives her good advice. It's like, maybe just, stick around a little bit. You don't want to leave the guy like right when he becomes sober. So I think Erica gets it. And she is a real friend to Dorit, unlike Kyle, which we'll get into. Now, they also talk about the night before, the popping off at Camille, when Camille came for Dorit, and then Dorit was like, no, no, no. I called you a stupid, see you next Tuesday, whatever she said. So that was really funny. So they kind of like debrief the events of last night. And Erica is calling out Satine. And I've actually met Sutton. She looks like a doll in person. Um, Erica's seeing a pattern here. Sutton has mistreated Erica, especially the whole, Girardi lawsuit situation. Sutton was definitely leading that charge with the article from the LA Times and whatnot. And now Erica's seeing a pattern here. Now she's kicking Dorit while Dorit is down. And who else? There was someone else that Sutton wasn't so nice to previously. So, Erica, I feel like she's been waiting. She's now getting a chance to really say what she wants about Sutton. She has all the material to back her up. And she then moved on to Kyle. Yes, that was the other person. So Sutton had messed with Erica, the whole Girardi case, and then Kyle, when she was like, "Oh, I'm a sister to you," or something about your sisters, that whole situation. And then she moved on. Well, now she's moving on to Dorit, and we're gonna see that implode at the end when the group gets together for Erica's performance later in the episode. All right, so we got Garcelle's man, her house, her beach house in Malibu. I get it that she worked very hard, but I feel like every single episode, all we see is scenes with Garcelle in the house, or she's like, phone a friend, like calling in, and then she's just saying like, "Wow, damn," in the group scenes. So I don't know if this is gonna be Garcelle's last season, just based on how much she's like putting into the show and how much she's really engaging with the women. Anyways, we see Garcelle take her oldest son, Oliver, one of her, does she have twins? Anyways, one of the two younger ones' girlfriend, and Oliver's son, which is Garcelle's grandson. And, they're having family lunch, family dinner. She's just like, wow, like, I can't believe I own a house to be able to do this. Like, it is quite the achievement, definitely good for her. And the fact that she can share this beautiful space by the beach with her family, it's quite the achievement. However, we get into some serious personal matters. Garcelle shares the story when it came to Oliver, and he was not in a good place. He was banging on her door to let him in, and she had to make the tough call to just have him walk away, deal with his business. And now look at him all these years later. He has a family. I think he's still working at Vanderpump Vegas, was it, or one of the other ones. He has a job, he has a family, he's taking care of his kid, he's smiling, he looks healthy. So that's a great update from Garcelle. All right, so we get this beautiful scene between Doritos and Bose. Bose visits Doritos at her house, and Doritos' parents are there. She feels like she's a little overwhelmed. She needs the help. She's been all alone. So it's nice to see her parents, come by and help her out when she needs them the most. The stuff she's going through with PK. And right before they sat down, they were in the house, and from the house, they went outside. And as they were, walking towards this area to sit down, Dorit made a comment where she's like, "Hey, if I look back, I'm still dealing with basically it's still PTSD and ramifications from the break-in." And she's telling Bose like, "Hey, like my kids don't actually know about the whole incident." And Bose just was like, "Girl, don't worry. Like we don't gotta like get into all that." So that was great. Now, I thought it was really funny where Bose was like, I think it was in her confessional, Dorit likes to talk and I like to listen. And so I think these two instantly becoming, kind of like besties from the get-go. I do think it was organic. I know some people are like, well, who else is Dorit gonna be buddies with this season? Sure, there's that as well. Who is she gonna cling on to this season? But do think the friendship that Dorit and Bose has formed, it is genuine, it is authentic, and it's beautiful to see. And I feel like for once, someone is truly stepping up for Dorit. So I'm glad she has Bose by her side now. Anyways, they start to sit down and they get into the 4-hour therapy session Doritos and PK had, and how he basically was like huffing and puffing and he's like blindsiding her. This is why I want a divorce. He slammed the door when he left. It's a hot mess. So at this point, my understanding is PK is sober, but he's still huffing and puffing and acting wild at therapy. So I guess this is like the real PK. He's not under the influence. This is the real him huffing and puffing. Now, the thing that I most like that we got out of this scene between the conversation between Bose and Dorit, Dorit is getting it. She's like, I need to start preparing. This is when she said this and she was having this heart to heart with Bose, I was thinking, look, put aside all your differences with Sutton. Just it's so petty. Like it's so nonsensical, okay? It's like just lame, dumb, whatever. Put all that aside. Go talk to Sutton. take a notebook, write everything down step by step, get a forensic accountant, get a good lawyer. I don't think Dorit's gonna get 300,000 a month net per month for the rest of her life, whatever deal Sutton struck with her ex-husband. However, follow the rules of Satine, and girl, get yourself out of this mess. So earlier in the episode, we saw the debrief between Dorit and Erica. Well, now Bose is debriefing the party at Kyle's with Dorit, and Boz is just calling things out as she sees it. Bose brings up the whole Camille screaming match between Doritos and Camille, and what was odd is Kyle knows you and Camille are not good, and she keeps bringing this lady around. Like, Camille's just, I guess, like a neighbor, or she lives nearby. So when Kyle has these parties, it's like, hey, Camille, like, come by. And it's interesting how Camille was the one who had brought on that, what was it, that psychic? It was like season 1 or 2. And they basically said Mo will never emotionally fulfill Kyle. And then, like, a decade later, Kyle and Mo, they're, separating. So it's interesting that Kyle and Camille can be friends. They look pretty friendly. I mean, you're inviting the lady over to your house for every party. Jeez. So knowing that, the situation, how heated it is between Doritos and Camille, Kyle still keeps inviting Camille over, and Bose, being the outsider now coming into this group, is just like, yeah, that's weird. Now, before the ladies wrap up their chat, Bose talks about Sutton. Like, that was not cool what Sutton said, how basically Dorit is like mad about her life and she's unhappy. And I'm glad Dorit is like, yeah, like, I'm going through a lot, like, no shit. So, good for Dorit. But the other thing Bo said is, whatever you tell Sutton, like, basically, in how I'm seeing it as the viewer, whatever you tell Sutton in confidence, she will weaponize it and share it. Now, guys, I don't know about you. I'm not really a fan of buzzwords that take over and become storylines, but in order to explain what Satine is doing, I feel like this is the word that both think perfectly explains what Sutton is up to. And so the season just started. We're going to be hearing the word weaponize quite a bit. And we do hear it quite a bit later in this very episode alone. So we get a cute little moment between Erica and Martin Lawrence, who is a designer to the stars, darling. So he is an interior designer. He's done the homes of, I don't know, the people to the likes of Khloe Kardashian and a plethora of other very well-known celebrities. He walks in, offers her his beautiful book. So that's lovely. And I feel like in the first time in a truly long time, we are finally seeing Erica smile, and it's coming from within. Like, just look at her face light up when this man walks into her front door, and they are going to revamp her. I think, what is it? The house is like 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. They're thinking about turning one of them into a closet, which makes sense. And they were looking at like the light fixtures, and it's just like, oh, girl, we got to get you a new light fixture. It was cute, like, she definitely looks like she's lit up. Now, who is paying for this renovation, this facelift of her interior? Who knows? Who honestly knows? Who knows what happened to all the millions that Girardi had taken from his clients? The other thing that Erica addresses is basically when she left her Pasadena house that she shared with Tom Girardi, which was a beautiful house. She took whatever she could take in a day. And guys, I know Erica left, what was it, like a $7 million home, or I think in the end, the price kept going down and it was around $7 million. Anyways, Erica left a multi-million dollar home. You know, she left with her multi-million dollar riches. But every day there are women who are in horrendous situations. They have to leave with whatever they can. And I'm not talking about, you know, the fires and evacuation, natural disasters, things like that. I'm specifically talking about um, domestic incidents where, you know, maybe their husband's not home or whatever it might be, and they just take the kids, if they have kids in the picture, and they take whatever they can take and they get the F out of there. Obviously, Erica's situation is a little different, but the commonality here is I think she said she had like a day or two to pack everything up and then get the F out of there. So, whatever she has in this house, she's lived there for about 3 years now. She's just lived there with whatever she could take with her. And I don't know if the place was like furnished or not, but this is her truly her first shot at reinvigorating the space where she can truly just move forward with her life. I mean, she has been. She's doing the best that she can. And I think she's playing Roxy Hart again in Chicago. So whether you like her, don't like her, good for her. She's moving on with her life. So before the ladies are at the Viper room, they are getting ready, and we catch little snippets of them getting ready. We see a FaceTime call between Doritos and Erica, and Dorita's just wondering, like, you know, I was thinking about it. Does Kyle and PK, do they still communicate? Do they still talk to each other? And Erica's just like, I don't know if there's anything to know about that. And Dorit shows a little bit more about how it's like between her and PK. It seems like PK still likes to keep tabs on Dorit. And Dorit is thinking, like, oh, maybe through Kyle, he's keeping some tabs on me. But when it comes to PK sharing anything about his life with Dorit, Dorit apparently doesn't know anything. He doesn't share anything with her. I don't like that. It seems like a form of control. And as a woman watching this, got my eyes on you, PK. Don't mess with our girl Dorit. Also, guys, deviating from the show just a little bit, there is some rumor that Dorit and PK is doing it all for a storyline for the show. It's a rumor, it's all alleged. I don't know. I'm just spilling the tea. If that's true, we got major problems here because we do know PK is having some financial troubles. So if he is using this platform, it is a cash cow for them, I assume, for their household finances, and they get caught that they've been faking it this entire time. Yeah, no, they gotta go. And the other thing is, well, if they're faking it, it makes sense why Doritos hasn't said anything to her children. Because at the time of, you know, filming the show, the kids just think, oh, dad's away for work or whatever. Also, he does have other like grown kids in like the UK. So for her little ones, it makes sense why their dad would not be at the house 24/7. So, anyways, that's a little side note. All right, so we finally get to the Viper room. The ladies are walking in. Are you guys annoyed with Kyle and her friends? And the story is always the same so this time it was Kesha that showed up, and Kyle's story was something to the extent of like Kesha was following her, Kyle followed back. They started talking over Instagram, and then they just like went out for like brunch or whatever. Like they went out, got together, and I don't know, they're friends now. Okay, cool. And then that was kind of like the same thing with Morgan. Like, do we care? Like, I'm so over Kyle. It's like, give us the tea, like, what's really going on. I don't care about this fake stuff. And then when people ask her questions, she just cries and doesn't give any, like, real answers. So, in this little scene, right when the ladies get to the Viper room, there was actually quite a bit to unpack. On the way in the car, Sutton was already feeling a little nervous to engage with Bose, considering Bose had made that weaponizing comment to Sutton. And right when the ladies enter, the gorgeous, bold accessories that Bose has on, it was Kyle whose like nail or something got caught. And I think it was Sutton or someone they brought up, like, oh, is that like your weapon or are you weaponizing? Bose gave it to Sutton right then and there, which is what I love about Bose. And in Bose's confessional, she's basically like, you do not want to go there. Like, it is not a good strategy for you to basically like come at me. Now, Bose basically explains how Sutton takes something and then she uses it to hurt Dorit, which essentially is weaponizing. And I thought Bose's confessional was so funny. She's seeing like two different sides to Sutton. So she's like, well, the real Slim Sutton, please stand up. So I like her confessional, so it's good. Before the ladies get seated, Erica performs her new song Dominoes. Bose is like, Dominoes, Dominoes. It's a catchy song. Like, I could not tell you what the rest of the lyrics are, what Erica was singing, but just that part kind of stood out. And then Jennifer Tilly, who's a friend of, her confessional was so shady but so good. It was like, well, I don't think it's gonna get any awards, but it's a very catchy song. So that was, some fun light shade. It's all good. All right, so the ladies sit down. Doritos gets into it, and Erica's just like, holy crap, like I knew you were gonna get into it, but like Erica didn't think Dorit was gonna go like right in, right when they sat down. But good for Dorit. She has some questions for Kyle, who has been evading any responding and providing any answers, any accountability, which we're definitely going to see in this exchange between the two. So the ladies sit down, and Doritos is basically like, have you spoken to him? Have you spoken to PK? And Kyle, she's being a little shifty. She's like, yeah, my friendship with PK, it's memes and jokes. He doesn't really share anything. Kyle's basically saying, like, look, me and PK, we talk, but it's just like memes and jokes. But she is still trying to tell Dorit, like, he doesn't say anything about you. Like, he doesn't share anything. I didn't even know that you two had it so bad. It's just memes and jokes at this point. And it's interesting because Kyle calls herself a girl's girl, but like the rest of the ladies, I think it was like Garcelle who asked, or it was Sutton, or one of the girls that asked, like, would you text your friend's husband if you knew they were not going to be together anymore? And Erica was like, no, I wouldn't do that. I've never done that. And some of the other girls have the same answer. I'm really glad Dorit called out Kyle in front of the girls, because then it's not like Kyle and Dorit had like a sit down and like nobody was there to witness it. I'm actually quite glad the other girls were there, because then Kyle couldn't like run back and like tell her story or tell her version of it. So, it's good to see all the ladies there. Now Kyle's like, oh, I'm a girl's girl. But Dorit in her confessional, she's like, if I texted Mo, she definitely would not allow me to do that, or she wouldn't like that. And Dorit basically just calls out how it's one rule for everyone else and it's different set of rules for Kyle. I feel like finally after all these seasons, someone is properly standing up to Kyle. I mean, I know those Brandy years we got a little bit of that, but this rift between Kyle and Dorit is a little bit deeper. So I feel like the wounds definitely cut a little more for Kyle. And she can't run away. She's literally seated between all the girls. Girl, don't even try to run away. So Garcelle asked Dorit, like, okay, so like, what exactly is PK doing? Like, what's he doing that's so wrong, so awful here? What's the dynamic basically between the two of you? And Dorit is like, well, he cut off communication. Like at the end of the day, they have two small children. Both parents need to communicate, and it just seems like Dorit is kind of like doing it all. And if he wants to be around, he will be around. Now, even though Garcelle started the conversation about, PK, Dorit, the kids, Sutton then chimes in, you can't shield the children forever. And Doritos is like, I don't plan to shield them forever. And this is when Sutton and Dorit, they're back at butting heads again. Guys, frankly, I can't even tell you what is the issue between Sutton and Dorit. Like, I don't know if I missed it or what. I guess the issue just here is Sutton is telling Dorit, like, hey, you can like lean on me while you're going through this, but and then in other instances, she's like going against Dorit or she's yelling at Dorit. But I think some of the frustration comes from Dorit yapping away and not listening to Sutton. And then Sutton has to raise her voice because Dorit over here is yapping away and not listening. So I feel like their dilemma, them beefing with one another, it's so trivial. I really think they just don't know how to communicate with one another, and this is what it has come to. Now, Erica does bring up to Sutton like, "Hey, you insulted Dorit at Kyle's party." And the fact that Sutton is like, you can lean on me. This was a conversation they had over breakfast some time ago. You can lean on me. And now Sutton's like, "Yeah, I said you can lean on me. I didn't say I'm going to be the first one you should call." Like, basically, Sutton's like, "I'm not like your best friend, but I'm here if you want to lean on me." You guys know in Real Housewives of Salt Lake, when Meredith was just running her mouth at Brittany for filming, I feel like this is kind of that moment where Mary is, instead of to Meredith, Mary is saying to Erica, get her, just get her, like, get Sutton. Like, I feel like Erica has been patiently waiting her turn to point out the things that Sutton does behind closed doors and the persona she has in front of the women, well, in front of them. And Erica's basically saying, like, this openness, this honesty, it's like all BS. You are literally kicking people when they're down. Like, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, Sutton was the one leading the charge when it came to Erica and all the Girardi situation, and then the rift between Kyle and her sisters. And now it seems like Sutton is kicking down Dorit while she's going through her issues. But worse, Sutton is saying, you can call me, rely on me, but then she's like fighting with Dorit. So, like, which is it? In the end, Sutton's like, we aren't friends. This is where I'm like, Sutton, girl, you're kind of showing your cards here. So, like, you are friends with Dorit, you're not friends with Dorit, but you want her to call you as she's going through these, issues with PK. What's the truth here? It's not a good look for Sutton. Guys, just when you think we are, near the end of the episode and hopefully this dinner, there will be some level of resolve. Nope. We get back to Kyle and Dorit. Bose calls out Kyle for breaking girl code. And Dorit is calling out Kyle. And Kyle is like, I'm done. I'm done. And she basically wants to walk out here. But Kyle, girl, you can't walk out. This is where Dorit's like, you need to be very clear because I need clarity. And I'm glad Dorit is addressing this because it seems like Dorit and Kyle, they've been friends. They would, go on vacations. Their husbands are good friends. At this point, I think PK and Mo are like real friends. And then there's some BS going with the women, but it seems like Dorit considered Kyle a real friend, but Kyle kind of, it seems like at this point, years down, Kyle considered Dorit a friend, and Dorit is almost a collateral friend from what happened between Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump. So it's a friendship of convenience. So seeing Kyle wanting to run away, not take any accountability, it's like we finally got her. Guys, let's watch the very last clip of the show, the very final scenes together.
Veins are popping out of your forehead. Please, I apologize, and I said to you, I will not talk to him again. What more do you want from me? I want you to stop raising your voice at me. No, listen to everybody. You don't get to speak to me that way. Do you understand, Kyle? The rules are different. You don't get to scream. You shut up. All right, that's enough.
Well, guys, that was a fantastic ending. I'm so glad Doritos called out Kyle for not taking any accountability. And Dorit was like, you can't be like raising your voice at me like that. Like, no, 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 I'm not gonna sit through this. And look, it's like whack-a-mole, you know? These girls keep coming for Dorit, and she's just like whack, whack, whack. It's kind of like the Shannon season. Tamrat thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be easy. We're all just gonna come for Shannon. But Shannon was the undefeated champion of the season very easily. And right now, this is the season of Dorit, but she's not getting whacked. She's whacking everyone else. Camille, Kyle, Satine. Take a turn because Dorit is here and she ain't gonna mess around with you guys. You're just gonna get whacked. Guys, the show, it seems like these couple episodes right now, it's going to be very tumultuous between Kyle and Dorit, but I do think there's some light at the end of the tunnel, and we will see an interesting progression in their friendship relationship. I don't think they will ever be true friends like what we've seen before, like the trips they've taken before, or how they, come together and kiki and whatnot. This fracture, it's quite noticeable. So it seems like Dorit, Diana Jenkins, who was a one season wonder, Erica, and even Lisa Renna, they seem to, be good. But Kyle is off with Morgan, but pretending she's not. Kyle is off with some other ladies or some other young people like Kesha. I don't know where Kyle is. Kyle's somewhere. But it seems like Dorit has formed a real friendship with Erica, Diana Jenkins, and Lisa Renna. And then poor Erica, she's like in the middle of it. Um, TBD, great season. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will be continuing the recaps and so much more. With that said, I will catch you all later.